Thank you very much for coming here. For the first time, the honorable of Mr. Grace. Yeah. And thank you very much for coming here because it is for respectable for our school. You can come here because the student always invites the foreigner for practicing English speaking. Because in our school have a program about Thailand for speaking foreign language.
Yes.
So my student waits you for a long time, beginning in the morning until in the afternoon for waiting you. Thank you very much for your coming here, and thank you for helping us for have change for students for speaking English. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. May I stand?
Yes, okay. Thank you. Come on.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you for your very gracious invitation.
Yeah.
It is my pleasure to be here. It is my pleasure to return to Banyuwangi. As you can probably tell, I'm not from this area. Okay, I'm from Sumatra. No, I can speak. Can you hear me in the back?
Yeah. You can hear?
You can hear me? Okay. So, as I was saying, I'm not from Banyuwangi. I'm not from around here. I'm from Sumatra. That's a joke. So, yes. I actually...
Sini yang belakang. Sini aja. Dengar-dengaran.
Do you listen of Mr. Gray? Yes.
Okay. So I actually come from the United States. I was raised in Texas, but I don't speak with a Texas accent because, as you know, sometimes the accents are very difficult to understand. So the most important thing when you're speaking a foreign language is you want to speak to be understood. You want to try to use words that are very easy to understand. You want to try to avoid speaking with an accent. You want to make eye contact. You want to make sure your manner and what you say is expressed in your face. And it should always be filled with happiness and joy. You don't want to have a conversation where you're angry. You don't want to have a conversation where you're disappointed. You want to use language to build the bridge between two different people and two different cultures to have a common understanding. And there are people that will tell you that the world is an angry place and that people are angry with each other and brothers are against brothers and different faiths cannot get along. And I'm going to tell you that that is absolutely not true, because we all want the same thing. We want to have peace. We want to have good health for our families. We want to have good futures for our brothers, our sisters, for our parents, for those that will come after us. And we want to honor those that were before us. We all want the same thing. We just have different ways of expressing it. So I'm always happy to come, and I appreciate your very gracious invitation and your very gracious invitation to come and speak with you today. Are there any questions that I can answer from you?
Okay, any questions, please?
Listen.
Pakai mic? Kalau pakai mic ya jelas.
Do you mind if I do by using microphone?
I would prefer not to, because I'm trained to speak with a microphone.
May I know what makes you want to be a soldier?
Thank you. I'm actually from the Navy, but it's similar. I believed when I was a student that everyone should serve their country in some capacity. And because I'm not that smart, I can't be a doctor, and I can't be a nurse, and I can't be a pilot, and I can't do a lot of things. But what I can do is I can be on a ship, and I can serve my country and help defend my family, my friends, and make the world a safer place. And some people make it a career, like Major Saima. I did not. I only stayed for a few years. But I believe that everybody should serve their country in some capacity. So that's
Bisa
why,
dimengerti?
that's why I signed up to join the Navy.
That's a good reason.
Well, I think so. I mean, some people use it for a number of reasons, but to be a citizen of a country, you have responsibilities to that country. We love our country, whatever that country is. So we help our country in some way that we can, whether we work at a kampong, a health center, whether we help older people, whether we help at the masjid, wherever we do, we need to help our fellow people. We need to help our country. So whether it's the military or something else, just some kind of service to others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Maybe you can ask for them next summer. Maybe speaking.
Well, everyone's speaking English. Everyone. Is there,
This one. This one.
well, no.
It's okay.
Do you have another question?
I'm sorry, it's actually some students have prepared the question for
Oh, sure. Please.
No, listen. Oh, yes.
Can I please?
Can I hear our students?
Yes.
Yes. Dari situ aja, dari situ nama. Sambil situ.
Salim saya.
May I know what is the good and the bad experience of being a Navy or soldier?
That's an excellent question. What is the good or the bad experience of being in the Navy or being a soldier? I will tell you that the good experiences are when you're out at sea or when you're a soldier and you're in the field and you're working as a team. You train as an individual, and then you train as a team, and then you go out and you execute what you were trained to do as a team. And there's nothing better than a team that comes together and wins and accomplishes the mission. Whatever that mission is, wherever you are in the world, wherever your country needs you, you go as a team, you perform, and you come back, and people say thank you. It was a job well done. The worst experiences, oh my gosh. So you're sleeping in the rain, you're sleeping in the cold, not here, but you're sleeping in the cold. In my case, I was on a minesweeper, which is a very small ship, and the sea was very rough, and everybody was getting seasick. And I was one of the few guys that doesn't get seasick, so I was basically on watch 18 hours a day. So incredible, 18 hours, and the ship is moving, it's very tough. And you do this because your team depends on you. And you don't want to down, always want to win. And then eventually the rough seas will stop and things will get back to normal. But thank you for your question. Yes, I remember some really good.
Dari situ aja. Dari situ aja, berdiri situ aja.
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Craig. So, may I know what reason that make you want to visit this city?
Well, thank you. Why do I want to come to Banyuwangi, right?
Yeah.
It's a great question, and I'll tell you the great answer. It's the world-famous Banyuwangi Mall. The Roxy Mall is the best mall in all of Banyuwangi. I love it. But Banyuwangi is a fabulous place with a fabulous history and amazing people and amazing schools like this one. And you have the culture and you have the intersection, right? And you've got some incredible scenery at the Ijen volcano. You've got some incredible food and the crops that are grown here, the fish, and even the tobacco over in Jimbair. And you've got just an amazing environment here where everything grows and the sun is bright and there's enough rain, but there's not too much rain. And there's no typhoon and there's no real earthquake, and the volcano sleeps for now, and we think will sleep for a long time. I was offered the opportunity to come here. And I said, you know, I've been to Surabaya before and I've worked at the Navy headquarters, but Surabaya is not that great, right? It's a big city. The Navy headquarters is interesting. It's always nice to work with the very big people. But realistically, if you want to enjoy your time, you want to go to a place like Banyuwangi, where you can walk and we can talk and we don't have to worry about traffic and we don't have to worry about the pollution, and we can just enjoy the beautiful day in a beautiful school with people that care about us. So I'd always love to come. I'd love to come to Banyuwangi the first time in 2019. I'd love to come back in 2022, 2023, and now 2024. And hopefully, we'll all be back together in 2025, although some of you will have graduated and gone on to university or gone on to whatever it is that you want to do. The important thing is you've got a great education and you can do whatever you want, right? You apply yourself, you take the gifts that Allah has given us, we take the instruction, we pay attention, and we can do anything. The world belongs to people that use what they are given, and they're happy with that. And they can maybe stay here and become the mayor of Banyuwangi, or maybe go to Surabaya, or maybe go to Mars. Who knows? That there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Yes, because probably there will be someone put on Mars, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And I hope it's not me, because I'd rather be in Banyuwangi.
Yes. Maybe you can give this question to our student, because our student maybe would like to spread their idea when you ask them.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe you can give a speech to question every day.
Would you like a speech or a question?
Yes.
A question. I don't want to pick on just any. Do I get to pick one person at random, or could it be somebody random? You said random, and you were the first one that said random, so you get picked. Please tell me when you are going to graduate. When are you going to graduate?
1 year. 7 months.
Next year.
Where is it?
Swansa. For high school, I went to Swansa after high school Swansa.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you want to do when you leave school?
More learning English, of course, because I just like English very much.
Yes, but then what do you do with that knowledge? Are you going to be a pilot? Are you going to be a teacher? Are you going to be the first astronaut to go to Mars?
What would you be so far? Director or maybe doctor.
Doctor. That's very good. And you can do absolutely. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Do I get to ask another question?
Okay, this question.
Let's see.
Hey, boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. I've got exactly 2 questions for you. Can
Sure.
you answer it one by one?
Sure.
All right. This is the first time talking with you.
That's fine. I will try to answer them in order, but I'm not very smart. Okay, but yeah, please go ahead.
Question 1. How long have you been in military for?
How long have I been in the military? Quite a while longer than you think. I know you look at me and you think I'm probably like 25, 26, but in fact I entered the military in 1985, so it's almost 40 years, and before
20 years. 30 years.
more than 30, 40. And yes, before I entered the military, I was a cadet, so I spent 4 years as a cadet starting in 1981. So for 43 years, I've been in the military, either in training or in the military, or retired and still working for the military. That's your first question.
Okay, my second question is, how long have you been in Indonesia?
The second question is, how long have I been in Indonesia?
Yes.
For this trip, I've been here for 8 days. But I have been to Indonesia before many times. My first time in Indonesia was in Surabaya in 2006. And then my next time was in Banyuwangi in 2019. And then I was in Bangkok in 2014. 2020 and 2022, and then back to Banyuwangi and Bali in 2023 and 2024. And I've been to Jakarta a few times. So I've been to Indonesia many times.
So many times.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, that's good. Thank
So
you.
I have one for you.
Yeah, don't worry, you can explain it.
Okay. When are you going to graduate?
Next year,
And what do you want to do?
I want to become an English teacher.
An English teacher. Where do you want to teach English?
In
In Japan.
I want to be a teacher there.
You can do that, and I have been to Japan, and I was stationed in Japan for 2.5 years. And I will suggest to you that one thing that has occurred is technology has made things quite a bit different. So there is a way, and there are many ways to teach that don't involve you having to live in Japan, because I'm not sure you'd like it there. And I can tell you this not to try and discourage you, but you will miss the weather of Banyuwangi, you will miss the food of Banyuwangi, and it is very challenging to deal with the Japanese and to deal with all of their idioms, and the language is very complex. So thanks to technology, we can learn by distance. We can get on Zoom and we can get on other educational forums. During COVID, we had a tremendous challenge, was how do we keep learning, right? Because if you don't keep learning, you're dying. The mind, you have to keep it active. And if an idiot like me can do a law degree online, there's all kinds of ways to teach. By all means, go to Japan, but be aware that there may be an easier way and a better way to use online tools than just actually going there. Thank you for your answer. That's very nice. Please.
This is my first time to talk with foreigners, so I'm a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. So the first rule of speaking, don't be nervous. Okay? We are all people. Some of you are smarter than some of me, so there's no need to be nervous.
Okay, so may I know what is the difference between a Navy and soldiers?
So that's an excellent question. What is the difference between the Navy and between the soldiers? I know with the TNI, that there are differences, right? Everybody's a member of the TNI, but some are Unggulan Laut, some are ground, and some are air. So in English, we don't do it that way. We have the Army, we have the Navy, we have the Air Force, and we have the Marines. And so the difference is the soldiers are on the ground and the sailors are on the sea. And usually on a ship, but sometimes they're ashore. But the Army will work on land, the Navy will work on the sea, and we support each other because the Navy has to have land and the Army has to have things that move by sea. Is that a good question? Is that a good answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, look, don't ever be nervous. Okay, there's no need to be nervous. Okay. Now, when do you graduate?
When?
Yes.
A year. Next year.
And what do you want to do?
I want to become a criminology.
Criminology. Okay, well, thank you very much. I would like to meet you, but not professionally. Okay? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Good time. Sorry. Yeah, and your name, please? We'll give them some time, actually. Yes. Your name, please?
My name is Aisha.
Thank you. And do you have a question? Please, okay, go on. So now I'm not so tall. Okay, talk to me like your younger brother. Do you have a question?
Santai aja, Mbak. Is it nervous?
Please.
How do you think about our school and Banyuwangi? And what is your opinion about Banyuwangi?
Okay, well, thank you so much. Was that hard? That was easy, right? So what do I think about your school here in Banyuwangi, and what do I think about Banyuwangi? It's two questions, right? First of all, this is a great school. You can tell by the staff, you can tell by your fellow students, you can tell by the buildings, you can tell by the trophies. As soon as you come in, right, there's trophies. What do the trophies represent? Victory, right? The trophies represent the best. You've been in a competition, you've won, right? This is a school that builds champions. This is a school that builds winners. And I can see it in your eyes, I can hear it in the music, I can watch the dancing, I can see it in all of you. You're here listening to me, this big stupid guy, and you could be out doing something else, right? So I like this school. This is a very good school, and it's always a pleasure to come and talk with students that are interested and interesting. And it's a pleasure to see the classroom is well kept. The staff is very proud of you, as they should be. This is a great school. Now, is this the best school in Banyuwangi? This is the best school in Banyuwangi. So what's not to like about the best school in Banyuwangi? And Banyuwangi is a fantastic place because you can go all kinds of places. You can go to the world famous Banyuwangi Mall, you can go to the Banyuwangi Park, you can get on the ferry, you can go to Bali, you can get on the train, you can go anywhere. It's a great place. It's a great trade route, the weather's great. What's not to like about Banyuwangi? What does that answer your question? Yeah, another question, please. Yes.
I know how many languages you speak other than English.
So how many languages do I speak other than English? None. It's a very good question, and the problem is, if you travel around a lot, you never develop fluency in another language. I can accomplish things in about 12 different languages, but they're basic things, like I would like lunch. I would like to know where the toilet is. I'm not a problem, I'm here to help you. I can say basic things in about 12 different languages, but I can't converse fluently in any of them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, have you ever learned Bahasa Indonesia?
Yeah.
I never learned Bahasa Indonesia. Let's see, sambal pedas. And of course, this is not Bahasa Indonesia, but Matur Nuwun. Japanese. Just so yes, I've learned some Bahasa. I've learned some. Just the basic things. Most importantly is to know how to read a sign. So when you go to a restaurant, you can read the menu. Like, what is this I'm eating? Well, it's fish, okay, it's ikan. Or it's squid, so things like that. So how many languages do I know other than English? 0. How many ways can I order something? About 12. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
So when do you graduate?
Next year.
And what are you going to do after you graduate?
I have secret plan for after my graduation, but I'll be becoming a businessman maybe.
Business? What kind of business?
Businessman. Maybe because gaming market is so high, maybe because of gaming or something else.
That's got a lot of potential to it, and I wish you well. Okay, I've got someone else back here.
Please, go.
Hi there.
So be the first, and then the
May I know what do you think about people in Indonesia?
What do I think about people in Indonesia? Thank you very much for your question. So, first of all, they are amazingly friendly, and they're amazingly happy. And I can tell you that having been to many parts of the world and dealing with people that are unhappy, it is very unpleasant. It is very unpleasant to go someplace, especially in big cities, where people are constantly stressed out about absolutely nothing. And this is a very common problem in societies where everything is focused on money and things, and they got shiny stuff, but there's no depth to their soul. And in Indonesia, everyone has depth. Everyone has a spirit inside that they then build from, and the knowledge in their heart is always very good. The Indonesian people are fantastic. They don't argue. They don't yell at each other. It's very common in the West especially. They're going to argue about anything, but it's all about nothing. So you're very happy. You're very focused on what you're doing. You've got a future, and you're working towards the future. Oh, by the way, the food is fantastic, especially with sambal pedas, right? Extra pedas. Keep it coming, please.
Thank you.
And everything here is fantastic. It's a great country. You should be very proud. When did you graduate? Sorry. Okay, and what do you think you want to do? Teacher. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your question. You'll be a great teacher. Okay, who's next? Okay, yes, please.
Sorry, I can't.
No, apologize. Go ahead.
Have you ever tried Banyuwangi traditional foods, maybe?
Banyuwangi traditional foods. Okay, so please tell me what one of them is.
One of them is something maybe if you like spicy food, you should try it.
I appreciate that, and I probably have eaten it at one time or another. If not, then I will. I love spicy, I love extra spicy, I love really extra spicy. And I've eaten everything that was ever served to me. And I've never had to say, this is too spicy, or I can't eat this. So again, I've been here many times, I've probably eaten it, I just didn't know what it was. When do you graduate?
I will graduate at 2025.
And what do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
Yes.
When I was graduating, I want to go to Oxford University.
You want to go to Oxford University?
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
No, but my brother has.
Your brother has?
Yeah, with my big brother.
And what did he do?
He studied economics.
Economics?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a very excellent place to study. I'm sorry, Mike. That's a great place to study. The weather's not very good, and the food there is awful. Right? Can you tell me about the British? There's two things about England, right? The United Kingdom. Nobody ever goes there for the food, and nobody is happy about the weather. Okay? That's an old joke. Why did the British go everywhere in the world? Because the weather in England is just horrible. And the food is even worse. Oxford's a great place to study. What do you want to study?
Because maybe entering to Harvard is kind of hard for me, so I'll choose Oxford.
What do you want to study?
I want to study law, and same as her, I want to study criminology too.
Okay, I hope that we never meet professionally.
We'll never get to.
Yes, but this is an excellent plan. I wish you all the luck. Harvard might be possible, you never know. The world is going to change. The world is going to change between now and the time you graduate. So don't ever let anyone tell you you can't. Don't ever let anyone tell you no. Don't ever let anyone tell you it's too hard, because the world is full of people that never listen to that and they achieve great things. And I'm sure you'll do well, whatever it is that you do. Thank you for your question. We want to call him in time? Just
Yeah. Come on.
go on.
From the country you work,
Sorry.
why America is called by from the country you work?
Okay, thank you. Why is America called the strongest country in the
Strongest
world?
country.
Before you were born, there was a giant conflict between communism as a political force, the Soviet Union, and the countries that were part of communism, and the countries that were not. And Indonesia was not. And so there was a lot of what we call the Cold War, which was sometimes a hot war, which means we were fighting all over the world. Eventually, communism failed, capitalism won, and the last country standing was the United States. Other countries decided to disarm the United States, stayed armed, so now the United States is the most powerful militarily, although I would argue that because of television and other problems, America is not the strongest intellectually, and it certainly isn't the strongest spiritually. So you can buy weapons, but you can't buy the intelligence to know how to apply them. You can't buy the clean spirit that will enable you to be confident in what you're doing. And this is a problem also in the West, is that people are just going through the motions, and they watch so much television they can't focus past 30 minutes. And they don't know what they're, I'm asking you, what are you going to do after you graduate? And every single one of you has a plan. Most places that I go to in the West, I'm going to graduate. And I said, okay, then what? I don't know. They don't have a plan. They don't know what they're going to do. Or somebody says something to them and they say, okay, that sounds good. But they study this and they don't know whether they're going to do well at it or not. They don't focus because they're so used to the electronic stuff just being fed to them. They don't have critical thinking skills and they don't have the ability to plan. The United States is a great power because we work. But I will tell you that the future is probably not the United States as a great power. It will probably be the rising countries, countries like Indonesia, possibly Brazil, that have excellent educational systems and that have focus, because focus will win. Does that answer your question? Sorry? I feel at home in Indonesia, I do, because every meal is delicious, every interaction with people is friendly. It's very comfortable here, it's very easy to be here. So now I ask you a question. You're going to graduate, and what do you want to do? Sorry? What do you want to study? Thank you. So it's not criminology. And that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think it's enough. That's the last question because we know that Mr. Stephan, this segment is very busy. Before we close this meeting, you want to say thank you very much for your welcome.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I would love to come back any time, especially around lunch.
Okay. May all the information that Mr. Grex have told to you, all the knowledge can make you more to know about everything. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay. Okay. Before leaving, we can take a picture together.
Take pictures. Sing a song.
Okay.
Go outside.
It's fine.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. This is the teacher first.
Okay.
Guru-guru dulu, which is your first
Satu, dua, tiga.
Desakan es Banyuwangi. Baik
Satu, dua, tiga. Oke. Satu,
Semangat.
dua, satu, dua, tiga. 1, 2, 3. Banyuwangi.
Cengkira tadi
1,
standing.
2, 3. Yes.